Hello, everyone. This is Prashant. I am co-founder and CTO of AntStack.io, which is a serverless-focused consulting company. In the last session, you must have gone through the setup where you are connecting API gateway to Lambda functions, Lambda function to DynamoDB and doing URL shortening and all of that. But one thing you could have probably realized is you are configuring everything on AWS console, and you are manually going there and connecting API gateway to the Lambda, and then writing the code in the Lambda function to interact with the DynamoDB and all of that. So in this talk, I want to simplify a lot of it and show how using Amplify, which is a tooling provided by AWS, to build serverless applications really, really fast. Using Amplify, how we can simplify this process, and how much of all of this manual work we can kind of get it done in an automatic, faster fashion. So with that, let's get started. So what is Amplify? So Amplify has three different components to it: the Amplify CLI, the Amplify JavaScript library, and Amplify console. The Amplify console is something you will see in your AWS console. You can search for Amplify and you can get in there. Let's talk more about Amplify CLI and what is the expectation out of Amplify CLI, what you can get out of it. So using Amplify CLI, you can easily create backend resources and automatically configure them to work with each other. Now, what do I mean by that is using Amplify CLI, for example, you can create an API and automatically the Amplify can figure out, okay, to get this API working, you need API gateway, you need Lambda function, you need DynamoDB. And what it does is it creates all these different resources, and it will automatically give permissions, appropriate permissions to the Lambda function, and invocation from API gateway configuration. All of those configurations and permissions are automatically set up by Amplify CLI, and you should be good to go from that point onwards. So using CLI, it makes it easy for us to create all the required resources and automatically have them configured. Now, the second part in Amplify CLI is if you are using these resources, which are backend resources like API, DynamoDB tables, ES3 buckets, all of this, if you are using that in your front-end application, for example, it could be React, Angular, Vue.js, any of those, it becomes really, really easy for you to pass the configuration information of all these backend resources into your front-end application. Now, when we get to the demo, I'll show you how exactly that works, and it's pretty simple and straightforward. And the third thing which Amplify CLI brings is infrastructure as a code. If you follow the method of creating everything on AWS console, then say, for example, you created the URL shortener from the last chapter, last session, and you went and created all the resources on AWS console. Say, assume you did the development environment with that and you tested everything, it's working fine. Now you want to go ahead and replicate the same infrastructure for Claude. Now, unless you documented each and every step which you followed while doing the development, it's going to be really hard. You need to remember exactly what steps you followed to create that stack, and go ahead and manually in the console create everything, configure everything properly as it was in dev, and so on. With Amplify CLI, it uses CloudFormation. So CloudFormation is infrastructure as a code service from AWS, where instead of creating resources through AWS console through interface, what we can do is we can write YAML templates and define our resources in there. So you can define, okay, I want an API gateway, I want a Lambda function, I want DynamoDB, and these are the configurations for each of those resources. You will be able to configure all those things and write all your infrastructure details as part of code. So that is infrastructure as a code, where you don't create resources from the console, but you actually write them as part of a configuration file or a YAML file, and then give it to CloudFormation, and CloudFormation will create these resources for you. So now the advantage here is, if you follow infrastructure as a code, it becomes really, really simple and easy for you to replicate the same infrastructure over and over again. So you created something for dev, you want to replicate the same thing for prod or different region or something like that. You can just run it and it will make the exact replica of your infrastructure without you touching anything in the console. So with Amplify CLI, writing these YAML files could be very daunting, and especially if you are new to cloud and everything. So Amplify CLI, what it does is it simplifies it a lot by automatically generating these templates for us. So when we say Amplify create API, and it asks a bunch of questions and we just answer those questions, and based on whatever we respond in the CLI, Amplify can automatically generate this infrastructure as a code template for us and keep it ready for us. That is another advantage using Amplify CLI over directly creating resources on the console. Moving on, we also have mock API testing. So you don't need to deploy your APIs to test them. You can test them locally using mock functionality, which is available on Amplify CLI. So moving on, we have Amplify JavaScript library. This is the second pillar in the Amplify ecosystem. So the JavaScript library allows us to, do a lot of things in our front-end applications very, very easily. So for example, we have created API and we said that we want our API to be authenticated. We added authentication to our application, created backend resources for authentication using Amplify CLI. Now using Amplify JavaScript library, we can connect all those resources created from Amplify CLI, connect them easily to our front-end application, and make use of those created resources from the Amplify CLI. So the JavaScript library kind of connects the bridge between backend to the front end in React, Angular, and all kinds of front-end frameworks. So another advantage here is Amplify also gives us readily usable components. It's available in React and Angular, so you can import these components and readily use it. This is, again, I will show a short demo later on, so you will get a better understanding of it. So the next thing in Amplify ecosystem is Amplify Console. So like I mentioned earlier, you can access Amplify Console in AWS Console. You can search for Amplify and go to Amplify Console. In Amplify Console, you will be able to deploy your Amplify applications. So what is the Amplify application? It's basically it could be React application, Angular, Vue.js application, and containing both front-end code as well as back-end resources. Because if we use Amplify CLI, it is going to create all the back-end resources as part of the same repository. So using Amplify Console, it's very, very simple for us to set up continuous integration and continuous deployment of our application. So another advantage of using Amplify is when we deploy Amplify application through Amplify Console, what it does is it creates the backend. And say, for example, we wanted to create a prod setup. So it created Lambda function, API gateway, everything for backend resources. So as soon as backend deployment is done, what it does is automatically takes the configuration information of all the newly created backend resources and passes it to front end and then deploys the front end. So when you have your application deployed, it is automatically configured. The front end and back end is automatically configured and it's readily working for you. So you don't need to again create a bunch of environment variables to pass what are the backend resources and so on. So that's a huge advantage using Amplify Console for deployment of Amplify applications. So another thing here is we don't need to do any kind of configuration to deploy our application on the CDN, which is CloudFront. So especially the front-end applications, when we deploy it, it deploys on CloudFront. We don't need to do anything. It will automatically do that. As well as whenever there is a new deployment from CI/CD pipeline, it will do instant cache invalidation automatically again. That's another very big advantage here. It also provides us domain, subdomain management. It is far more easier if you are using Route 53. If you are using Route 53 and your domain is with Route 53, then it's just clicks of buttons and it will configure everything for you, including it will automatically generate SSL certificates for the domains or subdomains you are adding, and everything will be baked in here. So that's about Amplify Console. So moving on, a typical use case in a REST in a REST API, serverless REST API is the client calls API gateway, and the API gateway hits Lambda function. The Lambda function accesses the DynamoDB table, and it just adds records, reads from the DynamoDB whenever requested, and so on. So this is a typical use case. So I thought we will build something like this today to give you an example how it works. So with that, that's end of presentation, and we will move on to giving a live demo of the application. So the prerequisites are you need to have Amplify CLI installed, and you can do so by running npm install -g at AWS Amplify -CLI as shown on the screen here. I have already done that. So what I can do is I can redo this npm, just making sure I use the right version of Node. And if I do this, so this will go ahead and install Amplify CLI at the global level. -g means global. Parallelly, what I will do is while that is running, what I'll do is I'll create a simple React application so that we will be able to try out. Okay, I think I already have this, so I'll just remove this. This is still going on. It may take a little while to get this installed. So let's retry the creation of a React application. So the React application, we are not going to do anything in React much. It is just used to show you the, demonstrate how Amplify CLI can be used in a front-end setup, and also use that to create backend resources in the same repository. So We will just create a React application for that purpose. So I made a React application called Books here. So we will just create few APIs, add authentication to it, and give a demo there. So the Amplify CLI is still getting installed. Okay, now we have AWS CLI installed and Amplify CLI installed. So we can initialize our project using Amplify init, and it is going to ask us a bunch of questions. So it is asking what is the name of the project. We will go with Books. Environment, we will go with dev, and I'm using Visual Studio Code. The project is using JavaScript, React. So it, as you see, it automatically figures out all the configuration. We just need to confirm by hitting enter. I'll just use my AWS profile here. Now what it is going to do is create an empty project, empty CloudFormation project inside AWS. It will not have any resource per se. But once that is done, we can use Amplify CLI to add more and more resources into the stack. Like we are going to today add API. We are going to create one API, a sample API, which is going to use API Gateway, Lambda, and DynamoDB. And we are also going to add authentication. And also we are going to use the readily available React components in our React application for authentication, and show that as well. So now that project is initialized, we can do Amplify status to see what is the status. So right now it says there is nothing in the stack, it's all empty. So let's go ahead and add API. So when we go ahead with add API, it asks whether we want GraphQL or REST. For the ease of this demo, I will go with REST, but you can also use GraphQL, and then you can give a schema, and it will go ahead and create GraphQL API for you with AWS AppSync. So instead of using API Gateway and Lambda, in case of REST, in case of GraphQL, you will be creating an AppSync API endpoint. So let's go with REST, and it is asking what should be the name. I will just call it Books, and it is asking what should be the path. So I will say Books, and it is asking whether you already have a Lambda function for this or create a new function. Since we don't have any Lambda function which is already there, we just create a new Lambda function. We'll just go with what it is asking, what should be the name of the function. We'll go with the default one which is suggested. Now it is asking what runtime we want. So in this case, I want to build this Lambda function using Node.js. So I'll select Node.js. And now it is asking what do you want us to use any kind of template and create these functions for you. So in my case, what I want to do is I want to use this CRUD function for DynamoDB, and along with integration with API Gateway. So when I select this, it will automatically create DynamoDB tables for me. And so it is asking me what should I do, whether to use already available table or create a new one. And since this is an empty project, we don't have any tables. So let's go with create a new DynamoDB table, and I will call this Books. So it is asking what should be the name of the column. I will say ID. That will be type string. Do you want to add another column? I will say no for now. But if you wish to add more columns, you can feel free to add. It is asking choose partition key. I will select ID. Do you want to add a sort key? I will say no. And I will say no for indexes also. And I don't want any Lambda triggers as well. So I will say no to that. Advanced configuration settings, I will say no. So with advanced configuration, you can you can add Lambda layers, access permissions, and so on. So it is asking, do you want to edit the local Lambda function now? I'll simply say yes, so that I can show you what has happened. So what has happened here is, since we selected CRUD, what Amplify did is it has automatically generated the Lambda function for us, along with all the 4 operations, which is CRUD. So this is get method for list object, so we can get list of books. We have a single object, so you can get a single book using this, and you can see the path here. And you have put, you have post, you have delete, which is remove. So all of this all of this code, our Lambda function code, is auto-generated. And if you don't like whatever is auto-generated, you can go ahead and change the code accordingly. So we'll go back here, and we are fine with whatever is auto-generated. And it is asking, do you want to restrict the API access? We will say no for now. Just keep it open for the simplicity of the demo. And it is asking whether I want to add another path. I am fine with it for now. We have /books as a path. So that's enough for now. I'll say no. So now when we go through this wizard, what it does is let me show you what it has done. So we have in our React project an Amplify directory, and it has all our backend related information. So if you go to backend config.json, it has storage. This is the storage. This is the function. This is the API we have. So all of this information is here. And in the function, you have function source code. You have the function configuration. These are all CloudFormation template. So all of this is generated. So Amplify has generated all of this for us automatically. So if you wanted to achieve infrastructure as a code by manually writing CloudFormation template, you will have to author all this manually by hand. Now Amplify is able to auto-generate that for us, and we can just go ahead and use this. But one thing to remember here is it is only generated in our system right now. So all of these files are here, but the resources in the cloud has not been created yet. I'll show you that. So let's do Amplify status. And it is showing that all of these resources are there locally, but they are not created in the cloud yet. So to create these in the cloud, we need to do Amplify push. So with that, what it is going to do is read all of these. So it is just giving us a confirmation, asking to confirm it is going to create all these resources. So what it is going to do now is it is going to read all these auto-generated files, which from Amplify CLI, and use those files, push that into CloudFormation in AWS, and CloudFormation is going to create all the resources for us. This is why I mentioned earlier that infrastructure as a code is really, really helpful and useful, because now we have created dev environment. Tomorrow we want to create a prod environment, staging environment. It's just a matter of passing, different environment variable, different, stage variable, and it is going to just create everything, make a complete replica of our stack. So this is going to take some time to go ahead and create all the resources which we have asked it to create. So it is going to create an API gateway. Here you can see API. So it is also going to create a Lambda function which has all our CRUD operations. It is also going to create a DynamoDB table called books. And it is going to automatically configure all of that and give us the configuration file. So this is our Amplify directory, and this is our React application. As you see, it has created this AWS exports file. It only has the project region, which is AP South 1, which is Mumbai. But we will watch this file. What happens is, as soon as it creates the API, it is going to automatically add all the information which are related to that API in this AWS exports file. So we will be able to use those resources in our front-end application. While this is happening, what I am going to do is quickly show what is there in our React application. Basically nothing. So let me open this and do npm start so that we start our React application. Yeah, so it's just a boilerplate React application with nothing in it. It just has a revolving React logo in it, so nothing much here. So let's go back and see where our stack. So our stack is now successfully created, and our API endpoint is also provided to us. So now quickly see what happened to AWS exports. Yeah. So you can see now it has our DynamoDB table details. It has our API gateway details, what is the API path and everything. So let's use these APIs and API URL and try and add a book. Let's see, we will be able to do that. So I'm just going to replace that with this. So I'm going to create a post request. I'm just passing some ID, random ID here. Generally, you should be using a UUID generator and pass the UUID here. And I will just send this request. Yeah, and it says post call succeeded. So it was able to create the record. So let's go here. This is from earlier, I was testing the whole thing. So I'll go to books / and I'll pass this ID and see if get works for the same book. Yeah, that is also working. So whatever entry we created is also coming here. So we have fully functional API with all the CRUD operations without writing a single line of code, and by just going through this answering bunch of questions, we managed to create the API which we can readily use. So now that is done, let's go ahead and add authentication to this application. As you can see right now, if you just load this application, it is not showing any authentication, nothing. It just the boilerplate application. So let's add auth to this. Amplify add auth. So I will just go with default configuration. If you want to do more fine-grained configuration, you can choose manual. Also, if you want to use social providers like Google or something like that, you can use social provider. For now, I will just go with the default configuration. And here it is asking what should user use to sign in. I will just leave, let's use email. And I am done. I don't want to do any additional configuration, advanced settings. All of that is not required for the purpose of this demo. So now let's do Amplify status first to see. Now you can see that we have not done any change to our API or function or DynamoDB. All we are doing is just adding the authentication. So let's do Amplify push. So it's confirming again. So it's going to take a little while. And what this is doing now is it is creating Cognito, a Cognito instance for us inside AWS. Cognito is authentication service provided by AWS. Cognito is again a serverless component, because we are not going to be charged, we are only going to be charged for number of users, and so on, and we are not going to be charged on some kind of instance, or it's not always on, and so on. So Cognito is again a serverless offering from AWS, which is with a fine-grained pay-as-you-go model. And it makes a perfect sense to use Cognito in our application, because we are trying to keep everything serverless. API gateway is serverless, Lambda is serverless, DynamoDB is serverless, and now we are adding Cognito, which is also serverless. So again, here we can keep a watch on our AWS exports file, because this does not have any information on auth right now. But as soon as authentication provider is created here through CLI, it should automatically add that information into AWS exports file. Then we can use that information to tie in our front-end application to use authentication. So let's just give it a few more seconds. I think it should be very close to being done now. Yes, so now authentication is added into our application, and we can confirm that by looking at AWS exports file. As you can see, it has added the Cognito related information here. What is the user pool ID and client ID and region and everything. So all of that is now available. Now it's very easy for us to take this information and tie it into our application. So to do that, let me just go through the documentation a bit here. So authentication service. So we have already gone through this, where we, using CLI, we added authentication. Now we need to do, what we need to do now is configure our application. So we need to configure our React application to start using this authentication provider. So the code is readily available here. So I'll take this code and I will add that into our entry point, which is index.js in React application. So I will just add it here. We will not need this, so I'll just remove that. So what we are doing here is we are importing Amplify from AWS Amplify JavaScript library. So if you remember from my presentation earlier, there was Amplify JavaScript library. This is what I was referring to. And it is importing AWS config from AWS exports file, which we kept looking at. So this is the automatically generated configuration file from Amplify. So we just need to take that config file and call Amplify configure. So let me just do it here. And if we just do this one line, it is going to read all the configuration from exports, AWS exports, and make all of those resources available for us in our Amplify JavaScript library. So that is as simple as that. But one thing I forgot to do is I have not added AWS Amplify as dependency into our project. Let's go ahead and do that. Along with that, I also want to add, since we are using React, I also want to add React components, which are readily available. So I will add both of these as dependencies in our project by doing npm install. So while this is happening, we can look at the documentation further and look at the next steps, what we need to do. As you can see, the components are also available on Vue.js as well as Angular and React Native. So if you are using one of these stack, then you can take advantage of readily available components. So as a next step, once we are done with installation, what we can do is, we can wrap our application with authenticator, which is coming from UI React, which is readily available component. So with authenticator is a readily available component from Amplify library, and we can use it in our application. So now we have added the dependency. So let me go ahead and try and use this and see what happens. You can, okay, it is, I need to restart that, but let me go and add these to our app.js. So we have with authenticator and Amplify signout. So Amplify signout is a very minimal component, which is going to just render a sign out button if we are logged in, right? If you are logged in, it will render a sign out button. And I want to make my application to be accessible only after authenticated. So I will wrap my application with authenticator. So now let's restart the server because there is a dependency change. I'm not sure whether it will be fine. So better to restart the server and look at our React application. What happens now? Okay. Okay, for some reason that did not kill the server. So let me open it up in a different port. It's still starting the server. Yeah. So our React application now looks entirely different. Before it used to, show the React logo and all that, but now it is asking me to sign in because we wrapped our application with authenticator. So let me give you a demonstration. If I remove with authenticator and refresh, it is going to show this, right? So let's add that back. So with just that one line, we are able to add, the entire authentication flow into our application. So far, we have not written a single line of code apart from, copy pasting some stuff. So let's go ahead and create an account. I will just create an account so that we will be able to test out. Let me use my ID email address here. And again, all these things are customizable. If you don't like, username should be email. So yeah, while we were creating the stack, we said username should be email. So if you don't like any of this, you can customize the components as well. That is also there. So let me look for the code. So all of this, like, we did not write any of this. It is all out of the box. So this is the multi-factor authentication code which I have received on my email. So let me confirm. Yeah. So our application is now authenticated, and as I said, we are also rendering a sign out button. So we can hit sign out, and it signs me out, and I can sign in again. Sign in, and I'm back inside. So That sums up the application demo. And just to give you little more on authentication, we used readily available components which were provided by Amplify, but you can also manually call all these functions. You can, like, if you build highly customized UI, and you can customize the UI which is coming from Amplify, but if you want to do completely your own UI, you can do that and use these functions which are exposed under auth. You can do auth.signup, auth.signin, all of these functions. So you can tie in your your own components, build your own components and tie in all of this into that. Before we wrap up, I just want to show one more thing, which is right now, we can also update existing resources. So we can do Amplify update API, and we can change whatever is already configured. So we can update path, add another path. We can do all of that. If you want to do update path, so you can say books, and you can change this path to something else. So you will be able to do that. So similarly, you can use Amplify update function, or you can do Amplify update auth and all that. But keep in mind, some of these configurations are not updatable. That is something which Cognito tells us when we are creating auth. When we did Amplify add auth, it kind of told us some of these configurations cannot be modified later. So keep that in mind. Some of these are configurable and some of these are not. So that sums up the introduction to Amplify and how you can use this to create serverless applications in a much more fast track manner. Thank you everybody for joining in.